Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 274 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media. It's been a while since we have said hello to our guest today. Let's see, since we last chatted, he's won a World Series ring, he got married, and he got traded as well. That's a lot, Nathaniel Lowe.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah.
But it's great.
I know. Look how happy you are. First of all, where are you joining us from?
Okay, I live in Texas now. Yeah, I live in Texas full time. Well, not anymore. Not during the season. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny I joke about it because I bought the house in February, and I told my wife, I was like, yeah, we're getting traded this year.
Well, hey, you think you feel bad? Go check in on Luka Doncic. I heard he just bought a $15 million crib days before he got traded to the Lakers.
Have you seen like the funeral that they're having outside American Airlines?
I have.
Like it's a ride.
Yeah.
It's a ride. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's just how it goes.
So wait, are you trying to say that the Luka trade was bigger than the one you were involved in the offseason?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think it just held a little bit more weight. For some reason it held a little bit more prestige in the DFW. But I'll get over it. I'll try my best to stomach it and keep it moving.
Well, see, I don't understand all these fans down there. I mean, first of all, they're Cowboys fanatics, right? And they haven't known shit in more than 3 decades. And then Luka, cute little job getting them to the NBA Finals. That was nice. But there's only one dude that I'm talking to that helped somebody kiss the ring, if you know what I mean.
Here, hold on. I'll pause. Let me go out of frame for like 10 seconds.
This is awesome. I always love this. By the way, nice designer bags.
Because I'm sure your guests come back with surprises because Luka is not sporting one of those. Luka's not sporting one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, no knock. He had a fabulous Dallas sports career, but yeah. He does not have one of these.
Yeah, you better wear that the rest of the interview, please. If you don't, is that okay?
Sure. Here, you mind if is that okay? I could just hold it right there, and you could just voice me over.
That is unbelievable. So wait, is that unscrewable on the top and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm sure you've seen the whole shebang, but yeah, it's got all the inscriptions on the inside about all the road wins. This little historic quote in there, and then a real baseball leather from a World Series ball, and then it flips over in case you're whatever the blue stone is, sapphire, right? If the sapphire doesn't match, you can obviously turn it into rubies on that side. And so it's pretty versatile, All 3 times that I've worn it in public, it has matched with my outfit.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to give you a ton of credit. You are way better at showing off the ice than our buddy Austin Hedges is. He showed it once, and I didn't know all those cool contraptions were in there.
I mean, they did it right. They absolutely did it right. Yeah, Jason of Beverly Hills is the jeweler that did it, and I guess they've been bidding on a whole bunch of championship rings. Mm-hmm. And when they got the chance to make a championship ring, they absolutely did it right.
First of all, do you have any idea what the cost of it is?
A lot. A lot. I mean, it's close. I think it's close to 6 figures. There's a lot of diamonds and a lot of stones in this.
So you have to pay for the insurance on it.
Yes. Yeah.
You'll gladly write that check every year.
Yeah, I think that's to the victors go the spoils. That's what they say. But the cost of winning is well worth paying for insurance on the ring.
Okay, so what you said you've worn it out 3 times. Where'd you wear it?
Yes, 3 times. I wore it to a member guest golf event where I was just kind of there because my partner carried me through the whole thing and was just kind of here, check out this pony that I brought with me. And so of course I'm getting pimped out, shaking hands with everybody and can I get a picture of the ring, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to tell you how poorly I played that weekend, but we had a great time. I wore it to the American Country Music Awards because it just kind of, it felt like it was the right time to do it. And then I don't know, maybe another baseball event. I'm pissed that I forgot it for the White House because I should have brought it to the White House, and I definitely forgot. I dropped the ball on that.
Well, maybe now that you're playing in D.C., can't you just knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm back?
Yeah, I'll just shoot over an email. Hopefully they respond
Yeah.
and see if I could just show up and show that off.
By the way, American Country Music Awards, you look like if people didn't know you played baseball and just said guess this guy's profession, like you could have been up for a country music award. That's what you look like.
I I do not have the voice for it,
Uh,
but at karaoke after a couple beers, I think I have the voice for it.
what's your go-to?
I've always said Benny and the Jets is my karaoke song. So,
Whoa.
we might, I mean, because everybody sounds horrible singing it, but it's fun to sing it.
Benny,
Right? Right?
Benny. Can you get up that high? Can you really do that?
I mean, no, I'm going to leave that where it is.
Okay.
My BAC is not good enough for me to sing now.
Okay. Let's talk about the other ring, but hold on to that ring. Don't lose that because that thing is freaking
Okay, sure. Yeah.
awesome.
This one? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that one's great.
Congratulations to you and your bride.
Thanks.
Her name again?
Her name is Brenna.
Brenna. Okay.
Her
So
name is Brenna.
this happened in November, correct?
We did. We got married in November. We got engaged in May, I think. I don't know. And we're like, I don't see the point of a long engagement. If we're going to get engaged, we might as well go ahead and get married. So, yeah, we traveled. We did a destination wedding because if we invited like extended family and friends, the list was just going to be outrageous. And we're like, let's just see it. Let's go up to Canada and see how it is. And it was amazing. Like it turned out so nice.
Yeah. What part of Canada is it? I was going to guess it wasn't Texas. That's the only
No,
thing I had.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Not Texas. No, we went. It was another 45 minutes or so northwest of Banff.
Oh,
The
yes.
place we got. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was. It. We got married on Emerald Lake. So that's Emerald Lake right there in the back. And a lot of us. I don't usually see snow, so the whole mountains and snow and all that stuff was amazing. I think we had like 38 people there.
Oh.
So immediate family. The bridal party was small. I only had like 4 or 5 groomsmen. Like it was perfect.
There's one picture I noticed, not that I'm Instagram stalking or anything, but we just do a little research here at the Rose Rotation.
Yeah.
There's a
Go
beautiful
ahead.
photo of the two of you where the snow is falling. It really looks like it's some sort of Disney animated scene.
I mean, it was, dude, it was like it was almost divine the way that the weather worked out because it was kind of overcast and kind of dreary and all that other stuff. And we stayed on Lake Louise the 2 days before. So if you've ever seen pictures of that, like it's worth a Google, it's worth a trip. Um, and it was covered in cloud cover XYZ, and on the wedding day like it had snowed sort of the night before, and the sun came out all afternoon, so the sun showing for
Mm,
the wedding, the sun showing for the pictures, and literally like how with a rainstorm you can see the wall coming,
hmm.
is a snowstorm in the same way coming over the top of the mountains. And as soon as we all cleared out the where we got married and did the procession, like the snow just started pouring. It was amazing.
I love that. Did you
It
cry?
was amazing. No, I made it through without crying.
It's okay if you do.
No, no, I was just happy, because
Yeah,
you're like, shoot, like we're doing this.
that's awesome. How'd you guys meet?
Yeah. You know, around at a bar.
Cool. Wait a sec. Stop. My oldest brother, he and his wife, who've been married since 1987, they met at a
Yep.
bar. What's the big deal? That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it was just, it was great because we kind of like, we played the whole thing where like, I'm new to Texas and big and bad and I don't want a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Let me date some girls and see what Texas is all about. And she's like, I'm not into you, blah, blah, blah. And we kind of circled it, and then we're like, shoot, like this is going to happen. Like we're doing this.
Wow, that is
Yeah, it
great,
was
dude.
great.
So
It was great. Yeah.
when you when
She's the best.
when you have less than 40 people at a wedding, that can be good and also not as good, right? You don't get as many cool gifts, but you don't have to write as many thank you notes. So did you
Yes.
write a handful at least?
A couple of them here and there. I think it was more emails than thank you notes. Just thanking like the
Mm.
the photographer, video people. Um, yeah, which is crazy because in college they asked us to write one thank you note a week for gratitude at Mississippi State,
Oh.
and it was funny because like you run out of people to thank, and guys are like definitely mailing them to each other. so so it's just a matter of like if the intern or whoever was working under the head coach was like in a bad mood or not, because a couple of them got turned in, and like I'll never forget I'll never forget. I can't out the guy who did it, but Gavin Collins is my college teammate's name. He's in minor leagues with St. Louis now, and another buddy wrote it to him and just switched his name, so his name was like Colin Gravins, and like sent it straight to his address. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's so good.
Now, wait a second. Do we know this person who did it?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna go back to that roster now and try and figure out who it is. Oh,
You
that's
can sort it through. You can sort it through and take a couple guesses. Hey, that's a loaded roster. That was a really good college team.
that's so good, man. By the way,
Yes.
I'm an emotional guy. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I know we work in a sport where you have to be tough and all that sort of stuff. Um, but I love that you wrote a letter of gratitude every week. It sounds sappy, but
Oh yeah.
I dig that.
I mean, like, you have to be appreciative of the people that got you to where you are, because
Right.
nobody, like, nobody really did it by themselves. Maybe the handful of guys that are just like big time willpower and come from a situation where maybe they had to do it on their own. But most everybody, I would say, like 98% of the guys are, you're a product of your surroundings. So when you're around the right people, you're just going to keep going. But yeah, telling them thank you is really important.
Who'd you write yours to? Parents?
Parents, aunts and uncles, all kinds of stuff. College. Well, before that, junior
Mhm.
college coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches. A lot of people.
Were you the best travel ball player on your team? Because I've talked to a
No
bunch of
way.
yeah. There's a bunch of guys
No
who say
way.
no, I wasn't close.
I was terrible. You know who's the best? Who's probably the best travel ball player on my 16-year-old team was Daz Cameron.
Daz
Yeah,
Cameron?
Daz Cameron. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's good lineage.
I mean, yeah, yeah. We had like Jacob Hayward, Jason's younger brother, was on the team. There was a bunch of guys that went on to play like successful Division One. Tyler Stevenson with the Reds was our catcher. Yeah, we had some guys. I don't know, not a ton of them really like have had like longer professional careers,
Hmm.
but I mean, for 16, we would kick your ass.
Oh yeah. Were you pitching?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was terrible.
Really?
I was terrible. Yeah, and I was the second first baseman too. So, they'd run out like the A lineup, and they'd run rule whichever other team in the tournament, and you'd win after 4 innings. And so I'd play the 11 o'clock game after you win the 8 o'clock game, and then when it came back to like playoffs of the tournament or whatever, I'd sit back on the bench.
Wait a second. I can understand if you weren't the best player. You weren't even the best first baseman?
No, 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 no. I sat behind Randolph Gazaway.
Oh, of course, Randolph Gazaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, listen, if
he
you,
had a,
yeah, what?
Hey, that's an 80 grade name. That's an 80 grade name. He had a short pro career. He got picked out of high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, there were draft picks all over that team.
wow.
I think Josh Hart was a first rounder, I think the year before. Kel Johnson was a big bat. I'll never forget we had a kid that like his name was Handsome. Like his I'll never forget Handsome Monica, because you never forget a kid whose first name is Handsome. And some of the coaches are like, "Man, I'm not calling a 16-year-old kid handsome."
I'll be locked up.
Yeah, seriously, seriously. But I guess his real name was Donald, and if you wanted to get hit, you called him Donald.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. East Cobb, man, East Cobb. I had a trip at East Cobb.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, but then we did it right the next summer.
What does
We
that
did it
mean?
right the
What
next.
does that mean?
Well, well, the 16-year-old team, you play so many games, you have no free time. And then I played for the 18-year-old Yankees the next year, and like we rented out of high school and we practiced a couple days a week and only play over the weekend, and it was the best. Like you got to be a 17-year-old kid and have a good time.
Okay. Go to a lot of Braves games.
I went to a handful. I didn't go to too many. I went to the postseason series with the Dodgers because I remember we're like, all right, we're gonna sit up in right field and we're gonna try and yell at Yasiel Puig. And then when you continue to go further and realize that Puig doesn't really care what you have to say and doesn't speak English anyway. You're like, well, at least we tried.
Right. Can,
At least we tried. But no, I used to go to Turner Field. Yeah.
yeah. I'm so old. I was at old Fulton County Stadium. I'm telling you this, I saw Deion Sanders hit a triple one time, and it was the most beautiful thing watching him run the bases because Tom Glavine, who was I get it, he was a pitcher, but he was a great athlete. For people that don't know this, he was drafted by the LA Kings in the 4th round. So he wasn't just your like typical pitcher. He was a good athlete. So this is
Oh, yeah.
bases are loaded, and Glavine is on first and there's 2 outs, and I think it was a 3-2 pitch. So he is running with the pitch, okay? So he has got a huge lead. Deion laces one to right center. By the time Glavine hit second, no joke, Deion was like maybe 20 feet behind him. Maybe. And I was like,
That's so special.
it's ridiculous.
That's so, dude, that's such an art, like such an art. I forget who I was talking to about it, but like when you see guys that can run the bases the right way, or like the one that's the most impressive to me is Cruz, O'Neal
Mm,
Cruz, because he takes 6 steps in between bases. You know, like I'm all for the tight turn. Like, you know, when you're really fast, you can pull that off. Like when you got a little more momentum, like me, you got to swing around a little out wide. But he like when he hits the next gear and decides it's time to sprint, like it's pretty cool.
yeah. Who
It's pretty cool.
who are the guys you really have to work obviously the rules have changed since you become a big leaguer and the number of times you can pick and all that sort of stuff. But who are the guys you really have to work at holding there?
The one that killed us last summer was Robles. When Robles went to Seattle,
Yes.
it didn't matter. The whole stadium knew he was running. We couldn't throw him out. We couldn't pick him off. Couldn't throw him out. It's like we couldn't get him out, and we definitely couldn't throw him out. But I don't know. Guys don't really. I feel like guys don't really take these crazy aggressive leads because they know that they don't have to
Mm.
draw attention. You know, like it's not the way it used to be. There's no 4 or 5 picks over, a step off, shake off, like all that stuff. You know, it's if you're not getting somebody out, you're delivering a pitch.
Do you like the rule or do you hate it?
I don't love it. I don't love it. I understand it speeds up the pace of play, and maybe the average baseball fan that's not like into the game and is just there for a good time can't grasp why the pitcher hasn't thrown the ball to the plate in a couple minutes. Um, you know, but it's definitely like it's not my favorite change.
But was there ever a time though in the old days, if you will, where
Yeah.
a guy threw over so many times, even you were like, the fuck, can you just throw the pitch?
We had a pitcher in college that couldn't come set. And for some reason he just like he couldn't come set. And he just I'll never forget we were playing at LSU and he must have picked 8 times in a row. And he's like, you know, we're ready to go to the mound for a visit because he couldn't get his hands to slow down. He just couldn't come set. And so when he's uncomfortable, he just reverted to, all right, I'm just going to throw over. And maybe one time he falls asleep and we get somebody out.
Had you ever talked to somebody when they're on first base and you did lull them to sleep?
Ooh, in the minor leagues, yes. I'll never forget minor league spring training. And I'll tell you, it was Jaron Duran because I remember seeing him and I remember thinking like, God, this kid is muscular, you know, like, like he is put together and he's looking over his right shoulder. And it's spring training on a backfield in a minor league game. So the enthusiasm is just at an all time high. And I was like, you know what? Like, we might as well work on a back pick now. And I'm talking over his right shoulder, talking over his right shoulder. And all of a sudden the ball's on his left shoulder. And I'm like, well, see ya.
So he pissed that you kind of got him?
I think a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if he remembers it now. But definitely, like, you know, minor league camp is still competitive too. Like, you're trying to make a roster, you're trying to make a team somewhere. So if you're going to get backpicked just for not paying attention, like, it's got to hurt a little bit.
So by the time this airs, we're just starting camp. For guys who are in the backfield, we don't know anything about what happens back there. What is it like when you are in minor league camp and you feel like you are years away from the show?
I remember seeing the major league team. Now, this is a bad example because he was that big, but I remember seeing Carlos Gomez and going, "Wow, like am I ever going to be that big?" Like those are legs attached to his arms. Those are not shoulders. Those are glutes and hamstrings up there. But it's just like even playing in the A ball game, right? Because everybody plays at 1 o'clock. So you'll have half the team or the high A team, the double A team, or whichever, the old A ball teams play one game, then the double A and triple A teams would go on the bus and play somewhere else. And I remember seeing like you watch guys come down to get minor league at bats from major league spring training. You see the guy with the one flap on the helmet, and that was always just like the craziest thing. You're like, oh, dude, I can't wait to wear that one flap. That's the coolest thing ever. Like, I'm tired of this smelly old two flapping helmet. And we had a coordinator because when you go back up a major league game, you wear your two flap helmet, and he used to always say, "Man, you go up there and two flap their ass today. They're not ready for you." Because like the seventh inning when number 73 gets in there, like, yeah, you might only get three major league at bats in spring training. Like, if you hit the ball, you are running for third base. If you hit a homer, like you're gonna enjoy it. So you're playing these scrimmage games, and in Tampa it was Baltimore. Um, Fort Myers was the Red Sox and the Twins. So you play the same three teams over and over and over again on these backfields where it's already been practiced on in the morning. The dirt's already chopped up. It's starting to get hot. Like you had a peanut butter and jelly for lunch and a banana on a good day. Um, you're trying to fight for your career and make sure that you're not one of the guys that gets redirected to the office on the way into the field in one of those three cut days. So it's an interesting dynamic. We had a lot of fun with it, but it's definitely a grind. Like you're not showing up to spring training to get ready. You need to show up ready.
It, I always think that it would be a great social experiment to have guys that have been in the show for 5, 6 years and forgot what it's like to be a part of that just for a day. Go down to minor league camp, go sit on those benches with everybody else, eat in that room, go to those backfields, the whole bit. It'll kind of reset you a little bit, won't
There would be some unhappy campers. There would be some unhappy
it?
campers that would probably remind you before 9 a.m. like why they made it. Like I'm telling you, man. Like, but I don't know. They do a better job now that they're trying to get involved with the union and all that
Hmm.
stuff. Like I understand that they're doing what they can to make working conditions better, but I think a little bit of the point, well, a major point of the minor leagues is to weed out the guys that aren't going to make it,
Yeah.
which stinks because like they're not everybody's going to make it. There's only one winner. There's only one player at each position on the major league roster. Like, but that's just how the business goes. So at some point, you're either going to win or not. And unfortunately, minor league spring training is a place where you can end your career.
Do you remember the first time you had with double ear flap on and at bat against an established big leaguer in a spring training game?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I wouldn't say established. I wouldn't say established. He's more of like a option guy. I remember his last name was Romero, and I swung and missed 3 times in a row and walked back to dugout, but I got my swings off. I mean, like if I had hit it, if he would have thrown it into my barrel, there's definitely a chance it was going to leave the infield. Like I was swinging hard. And I remember watching on TV afterward too. I'm like, man, how did I miss that? Whatever. And I'm watching this sinker move like, foot and a half. Like it's major league stuff, so it's gonna move. But sorry, my shepherds are coming.
Holy smokes. Let's see.
Yes.
What are they doing?
Here.
They're not eating
I-
somebody, are they?
No, no, no. They like to talk to everybody that gets into the yard.
Oh
Quit
my
it.
God. Let's see the
Here's
shepherds.
my little shepherd,
All right.
and then here's my big shepherd.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's
those
like a
aren't
wolf.
dogs, those are horses.
He's like a wolf. How do I flip that
Holy
around?
smokes.
Oh shoot! I don't think I can do it.
Here.
I don't know.
You're still in your 20s. You should
Boys,
be able to figure that out. There they
come
are.
on!
Hi, guys.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah. So they like to check everything on the front yard loudly.
Yeah. What do they got? An Amazon driver that they're trying to eat?
Probably it looks like a yard guy that's coming around, and anybody
Oh,
that goes into the cul-de-sac, they want to let them know that they're here.
okay. I got it. I got it. Um, all right. So let's deal with this trade here. You joked
Okay,
earlier on that once you bought the house in February, that you're like, yeah, this is the year. And sure enough. So,
nail in the coffin.
yeah, I read that what you were in like a deer blind or something when you found out.
Oh, we were in Kansas. We were duck hunting.
Yeah. Duck hunting. Okay.
Yeah.
So how's this go down? CY calls you and says, "Hey man, great run. Had to make a move. Blah blah. What is it?
Yes, I think it was a 5-minute conversation at the most. Sam, quit it.
Come on, Sam.
Hold on. Sam, we're on the phone here.
Come on, Sam.
Um, yeah. So we're doing our thing, and then I was like, okay. I told the network guys, I was like, okay, I saw Goldschmidt is signing in New York, so we're good to go there. Because I thought I was going to be a Yankee,
Mm.
and the whole narrative of like expensive was getting pumped out, and I'm like, dang, dude, like if somebody's gonna buy a major league free agent first baseman at this rate, you're paying him 25 million bucks, and my arbitration number is still at like half that. So I don't know, it just felt like the walls are starting to cave in, and then the burger move happened, and I was like, oh, okay, uh, maybe that's a DH, and I'll play first base. And then my agent told me after the fact that he had reached out and hadn't heard a whole lot back. So, they're not going to tell you right before they trade you that you're going to get traded. But it kind of was a couple weeks in the work. And then when I saw CY's name pop up on my phone, I was like, yep, that's going to be it. So Riz called me right after, and that's that. So we're off to the races.
All right, but when it happens, this isn't the first time it's happened, right? You started with
No, this is
Tampa
the
Bay,
second time.
and right,
Yeah.
so you get dealt. So you've been through this, but still, it's a little bit different when you kind of. This is where you established yourself as a big leaguer, I would say, kind of at a different
Yeah.
level. You win a World Series with these guys. You know that they're going to go for it again after what happened last season. Did it hurt a little bit more?
Um, I mean, a little. I can understand like both sides of it, right? Because with the way that my trend has been the last couple of years, like I haven't put up the power production that I wanted to, and I haven't put up the power production that the best of the best are going to do. So they're not going to pay me 10 million bucks to not put up like top of the line numbers. So at least they're very friendly. They're pro about all of it. Like we had good exit meetings at the end of the season. I feel like I had a nice September to kind of set my season back up. The numbers at the end turned out all right, even though we didn't win. Um, but it just kind of felt like I was getting pushed in the direction of getting moved.
Which call hurt the most with a teammate?
Mm, I don't know. There wasn't one in specific. But I think what was like kind of the nail in the coffin was paying Jock that afternoon.
Hmm.
Like and like he's a great player. I totally understand that ad, and I understand that he's a guy that you want there. And there's previous history with the new hitting coach that they brought in. And then he had Donnie Ecker in San Francisco. So, they know what he's done. And obviously he's been very productive. So it makes sense to add him for anybody. But for the narrative to say, like, yeah, I'm expensive, and then to go out and spend double the money on another left handed bat like that afternoon, I was like, damn, all right, you know, hold on 2025. We got some heads to turn again.
So when Rizzo calls you, I mean, does Davey Martinez call you right after that? And
Yeah.
yeah,
I talked to David too. Yeah. And they're excited as can
of
be,
course.
because like it's kind of crazy that I'm like an older guy with
Yeah.
this group or like a veteran guy because I haven't even hit free agency. Like I don't know what any of that is about. So for them to say like, hey, we want you to fill in the leadership role. We want you to be a guy who's active with the younger players and a guy who's sort of a mentor. Like it's pretty cool because the longer I was in Texas and the more that we had the idea of like being having a championship standard, like I wanted to add more input because the championship standard for 3 of the 4 years was, I mean, 15 games under 500. Like it didn't really add up. We got it right in 23, but we also almost missed the playoffs by a game, So it was just kind of like we went back and forth and I'd kind of add things and I think that they were just ready to move on.
So as I look at the Nationals roster, there is some really good young talent, headlined obviously by C.J. Abrams in the year, particularly the first half that he had last year, and Dylan Cruz, who was the second overall pick a couple of years ago, and he's kind of the crown jewel moving forward with James Wood, who's also only 22. There's very, very few guys that have more service time in the league than you do on this squad. But you're also a newbie to the team. How do you balance that between them saying, come on, man, be a leader, and hell, you don't even know where the bathroom is?
Show up and play better. Like that solves all the issues. If I show up and play my game, like then I shouldn't have to say too much. When I show up and play well, like the things will take care of themselves. And then if that leads to conversations, then I can kind of reach out and be more available for the younger guys. But if
You know,
I'm not taking care of my business, then it's kind of tough to be in that leadership role.
except that, you know what? I'll give you a little pushback on this from this angle. I just talked to Miguel Rojas, who
Okay.
now he's older than you, right? He's about to be, I think he's 35 or 36.
Yeah.
He's got 10 plus years in the show. A huge reason why he's on the Dodgers is because he's a rah-rah guy. He's no longer an everyday player, and he's there to talk to guys. But he has always said, I don't mind getting in guys' face who I know are better than me. All right?
Right.
So why is it so important for you? Like, you have your ring. You are an established major leaguer. If you need to get at some kid who's 22, 23, might not be doing it the right way, do you have to be hitting 301 in order to talk to him?
No, no. As long as you're not being a dick, you can help players. You can help players get better without being a dick. When you're high and mighty and like saying, "Oh, this is the only way to do it," like then you're in trouble. Sorry, Mondo, come here. The yard guy's out there. I guess he's coming in my yard.
Oh, God.
Um, yeah, I got all the things going on.
That's good.
Um,
I like it. We're getting a good tour, by the way. Luca's got
yeah,
nothing on you.
yeah, right. Hold on to this regular nice house in a regular neighborhood without a gate, Luca.
The dog wasn't going to be in the back.
Yeah, I got him in here. It's all good. Yeah, thank you. God Almighty, dude. Yep, this is life. It's not all glitz and glam in the show off season.
I was going to say, holy smoke, somebody needs camp to start a little bit early.
uh,
Dang.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yeah, I'm ready to leave. Sam, quit it.
Come on, Sam. Holy smoke.
Yeah,
What's the guy doing in the yard? It can't be that much work, can it?
I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. But my yard guy, unfortunately, found out who I am, and he's made little comments here and there, like, "Well, if your friends want this done, tell them in the dugout." And I'm like, you should just stay right there.
You know what happens? You better check that bill and make sure there's not a show premium on it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I've had to double check that. Wow, I can't believe that's getting recorded.
Are you kidding me? This is great. This
Yep.
people want to see how you live, and so my God, have we seen it all?
Yeah. With an 11-year-old dog, a year and a half dog, wife and agent calling while I'm on the interview, and the yard guy in the yard, and yeah, that's
But so, by the way, we cleared things up. Like everything's okay. Like there's no emergency going on between the call from the wife and the agent, right?
no, not that I know of, not that I know of. He hasn't called me. He hasn't called me a fourth time. You'd think sending him to voicemail twice would, you know,
Kind of be.
well, That's okay. Maybe something important, but we can wrap that up when we get to it, or get that. Yeah. Either way,
Is it possible the Nationals are calling about an extension and we're finding it out right now?
that'd be cool, huh?
God, that'd be. What do you have? You have 2 more years, don't you?
That'd be cool. Yeah, I got this year, next year, team control. I hit free agency when the league is not going to lock us out, and yeah. So,
Come on, don't do that to baseball fans. Stop it.
gosh, no, it's all yeah, no, it's all smiles. What did Vinny say the other day? Face value of players should mean something at home,
It's funny.
bro. Brother, has he
That
been
is
with the
funny.
Royals the whole time?
He has been.
Yeah, that's why he said that.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's why.
I do want your thoughts. We're recording this the day after Alonso re-signed in New York for 2 and 54.
Yep, big money.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, for like the dude who just knocked on your door, absolutely. For what he has done for 6 years as a baseball player, where only Aaron Judge has more homers over that span, probably a little surprising, is it not?
He's the premier right-handed power bat in the free agent class, and he gets essentially a 1-year deal. Like I get it, 20 million bucks and a 10 mil bonus is awesome, but like, what does that tell the rest of free agents coming up? Does that say like the 6-year deals off the table, the 8-year deals off the table? I'm gonna hit free agency. I'm turning 31. Like, what does that say for me? What do I have to get excited for? So, I think that in short, it's good, but I think that the way that it all went down between obviously ownership making comments about him and then him shopping around and then whatever's public about Blue Jays deal that existed or didn't exist, and the fact that the deals are like 2 and 3 years long, like that's too bad. That's too bad because for Pete to have a down year and hit 34 and 88, like I've never hit 34 homers in a regular season. I'd be pretty pumped about hitting 34 in a regular season. So, but that's just the way the industry. That's just the way the industry is going.
You you've been a really solid player. You also have won a Gold Glove. Are you are you afraid of what it means for the position when they're not paying a guy like him?
I mean, Christian Walker only got a 3-year deal, also, and Christian Walker's a premier defender. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna enjoy where I'm at today. I'm gonna go out and kill 2025 and do the best that I can there, and then we'll get to free agency when we get to free agency.
Got it.
There's no reason to lean one way or the other. I still got a lot to add to my resume before I hit the market for the first time. So, we'll go out and bust it, and the chips are gonna fall where they may.
Okay. This is your first time in the National League. Is there any,
Yeah,
I
cool.
mean, okay, so what's the difference? Because everybody plays everybody now. Is it just that you get to see more of these cities more often? Is that the excitement in terms of the newness, or what is it?
I like the East. The NL East is the big leagues.
Mm.
I thought that the AL East was the big leagues when I first came in. And that's no knock on the Central or the West or whatever. But I mean, the NL East is the big leagues. There's no breaks. I mean, I don't know who the number 4 starter in it is in Atlanta, but something tells me he's pretty good. You know, and don't get me started on the Phillies and Mets, and the Marlins always have guys that you've never heard of who are really nasty. So I mean, it's going to be fun.
How about the first baseman in the division?
Awesome. How am I supposed to make the All-Star team? I'm like, shoot. Well, it's a good thing I got some individual trophies in the AL because you got 3 guys hitting 35 plus homers at first base in the NL, like not just a 1 or 2 or whatever. I mean, I'm sure my numbers are wrong there, but it's a competitive spot. But that's also why, I mean, they're the highest paid players that are playing there.
Yeah, but
Between Freddie making big money in LA. Olsen obviously signed a long-term deal in Atlanta. Harper's on the Harper deal. Like Pete's making a lot of money. Like it's good for the whole climate, but it's competitive.
well, the Nationals are getting a deal. I'm just saying.
Hey, I know they are.
But if we were to stack the guys in the NL East at first base, not based on ability, but on personality, where do you rank?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and be humble and place myself at 1A. 1A. Yeah, definitely.
Who are you
Um,
sharing that with?
Nobody. I'm just making sure A is on there to know that it's like the beginning of the beginning.
Come on now. Wait a second. Now, did you follow Harper's TikTok this year?
I don't have a TikTok. I
Okay,
don't have a
well, so
TikTok. So.
Harper, I mean, just went nuts on TikTok. He was showing us how he makes banana bread. By the way, he cuts the bananas at the end like lengthwise and then drapes them on top at the end, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It's kind of serial killer activity. I don't
So,
know him. I don't know him at all. I know him in passing from like being at first base and saying, "Hey, what's up, Bryce?" And then one of the guys I grew up with, like Bryce, did a promotional for his dad when the swing away was a thing. Did you ever see the swing away?
the swing
Yeah.
away.
Oh yeah, with the ball on the thing and you hit it in the middle and it goes back and forth. But I mean, Bryce has probably done so many endorsements that he doesn't know who's who. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'd stick it to Olsen here and there. He's another Atlanta guy. It was fun to see him play in Oakland, but I mean, he killed the Rangers, dominated the Rangers. So I didn't see a ton of him at first base.
Yeah, right, because he was
Yeah.
too busy trotting.
Yeah, taking a slow jog past me and saying hi to the bullpen on the way around the bases again.
Hmm. You ever jokingly, like with one of your buddies when they hit a home run, yell at them? They're rounding the base.
Oh yeah, yeah, like the fake trip or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh yeah. Or like I don't know. Usually I cover my face because I try my best not to say unfriendly words on camera. But yeah, no, I'll jab them pretty good when they come past me.
Why? Is it because the parental units will say something to you?
Here and there, I try and make sure that it's family friendly.
Got it.
Try and
Got
make
it.
sure that it's family friendly. There's a young audience of kids who I'm trying my best to make sure that it's PG for as long as they can because you've seen what's on 13-year-old social media now. There's no rules.
That is true.
There's
That is
no
true.
rules.
I'm going to run through the schedule real quick, and then we're going to let you go. Oh,
Sure.
you don't even get to go back to Texas this year.
Nah,
Wow,
they come to us. They come to us.
oh,
Yeah.
God dang it! See, we have to change that rule. If there's a fairly sizable trade where, like, wouldn't it be great to see you get that tip of the cap back? We're gonna have to wait till the next year to see it.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe next year, like my hair to like facial hair ratio will even out, so I can like take my hat off or take the helmet off. Because now, like, if I'm a little sweaty, like the back of my head is totally skin. So if I'm gonna do like a helmet tip, like this needs to thicken up, or maybe I'll grow something on my face before I can like, take my hat off.
I cannot believe you just dogged yourself like that, dude.
Hey, you got to stay humble. You can't forget where you come from.
But doesn't Josh have like luscious
Luscious
hair?
locks. Luscious locks. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I blame my parents for that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't. There's no way to explain that. Tell him to stay healthy. By the way, how's he doing?
I will. Yeah, he's great. He just got married too. He got married in January.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he got married January 11th. Yeah.
Canada?
No, 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 no. He got married in Orlando. He got married right down the road from my parents. Like we had polar opposite weddings. Like he had so many people there. It's probably some sort of fire code violation, and we didn't even fill up the entire room.
Was were you the best man?
I was, yeah, yeah. We had a good time with it. We had. I mean, talk about getting so many guys there. Like I think 80% of Tampa's roster was there at one point, and all my baseball cousins that keep up were like, "Oh my God, that's Tyler Glass now," and I was like, "Yeah, He- yeah." He ties his shoes with two hands just like you do. You know?
He just does it with prettier hair and a
Yeah,
thicker wallet.
he's just further away from his shoes than most of us are.
Exactly. That gorgeous Adonis. Uh, so, did you have to do the bachelor party? Did you run the bachelor party?
We did a joint bachelor party because
Oh,
I think where we met, well, not the two of us together. One of them was his best friends.
oh, gotcha.
Because like we just kind of ask about dates, and what I've realized about bachelor parties is you just have to make a date
Hmm.
and then make everybody show up, and they'll adjust their schedule accordingly. So it was like a month out, and then he was like, "Hey, Patrick's doing his bachelor party in this cabin in North Carolina," and said we should go with because there's a bunch of rooms. So we kind of had like two bachelor parties,
Mm,
and like nobody was invited to the other wedding really,
mm.
aside from like a handful of guys. So it was something. It was something, but we had fun. It was
Heck,
cold as shit. We golfed, and it was so cold. Probably got hypothermia. Um, Drank too many beers. We had a great time.
yeah. Well, the bachelor parties have changed. I've been married almost 30 years. They were a little crazier back in the day. Just saying.
Yeah, I can imagine. I
Yeah.
can
Now,
imagine.
now you guys just golf, and I mean, really, it's not nearly as I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm
That's
following you there.
it's probably safer. Probably
Yeah, I
safer that
mean,
way.
cell phones and social media and all that stuff, like, is just, saving a lot of people from trouble that they don't want.
Well, listen, man, it was great catching up. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. We'll see you on the road at some point, when the Nationals come out west, or I don't know if I'm going to get east, or, I don't even know if I'm allowed in the vicinity out there in Washington anymore, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it's great catching up with you. Everybody always loves you got such a good personality and great outlook on this game, and I'm rooting for you. We all are.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's nice to see
Absolutely.
you, man.
Yeah, and take care of the pooches too. They're nobody's coming up to that door. I'm
No,
telling you that.
no, not anymore. Not after hearing all that woofing. But
By the
that's how it
way,
goes,
you
man.
might have to register them when you get to Washington. Like that's
No, no. Yeah, register him for a daycare so he gets all that energy out and doesn't bark at everything that moves out the front door.
yeah, exactly. And congratulations on the nuptials for both you and your brother. Best to the entire family, and have a happy, healthy, successful 2025. All right, my man.
Thank you. That sounds great.
Awesome. For our amazing producer, Alex Graap, for Nathaniel Lowe of your Washington Nationals, I'm Chris Rose. We will see you next time here on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.